I'm eating hog leg.
What's up, man?
Hold on, the police here. Talk to them.
What's up?
What's up?
You're not starting any fires or anything out here, are you?
No, I'm just eating.
What you eating?
Hog leg?
A hog leg?
Yeah.
Okay. I would not eat that raw, man.
I can eat what I want, right?
I'm not telling you can't in that aspect. I'm saying I hunt myself, and raw hog has a lot of parasites and shit on it.
I don't believe in parasites.
Okay. Alright, well, it's not illegal to eat a hog leg. I'm just saying from experience, man, that kind of meat is, I would cook it first.
You like it cooked, I like it raw.
Alright, well, don't bring any water. Eat a hog leg. Alright, little. Raw. You good?
Hmm?
You need anything from us?
No.
Okay. Alright.
Out here in Florida, when the police pull up on you, they be like
Can't park there.
10 police officers, right? And every time they pull you over, it be like 3 police cars. Why is that?
All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving our praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from, and I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. Sluggy, and today, I'm just going to entitle this lesson, Plague of the Mind, because as you can clearly see, you have this Jake, he's sitting down and he's eating, a raw pork leg, which, we're not supposed to be eating pork first and foremost. And not only that, he's eating it raw, so you can clearly see, this man, he's not right in the mind, and he has spirits on him, and this, what he's doing is not safe, because you're not supposed to be eating any type of meat, undercooked or raw, because that can, bring about parasites, you can get sick from doing, something like that. But, and this isn't the first time this individual's done that. I've seen another video of this man eating other animals, raw. I've seen this man eat a chicken, a chicken, with the feathers still intact and everything, man, So this is just one of the many signs to show that, we need the Lord to come and get us out of here. So I'm just going to read a couple of scriptures. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and straight to the point. And I'm going to start with the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 28. And it says, the Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. So, right, this dude is mad, meaning, he's crazy, because anyone in their right mind, first and foremost, will not be eating, pork, because that's in our dietary law, but as we know, our people, they don't follow the dietary law, which you may have some of our people that, won't eat pork, but they'll still eat shellfish, but either way, man, he's out of his mind, because again, you're eating a raw, you're eating raw meat, that's not okay. And that can bring about sickness, which, he claims he doesn't, believe in parasites, which I'm going to bring out a little information on that. So let's jump to, Leviticus chapter 11. And I'm going to get verse 7. And it says, and the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you. So right, not only are we not supposed to eat pork, but we're not even supposed to touch their carcass, man, because they're unclean animals. of a pig, it's been proven, so many times that a pig will literally eat anything you put in front of it. They will. That's just how they were built. They're the garbage disposals of the earth. They keep the land clean, by eating, detestable things, which is why they also don't sweat either. So I'm going to jump to Leviticus chapter 17. Slakia. Leviticus chapter 17 and verse 12. And it says, Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, No soul of you shall eat blood, neither shall any stranger that sojourneth among you eat blood. Talking about Israelites. Says, And whatsoever man there be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, which hunteth and catcheth any beast or fowl that may be eaten, he shall even pour out the blood thereof, and cover it with dust. And this is the law that, if you went and hunted, a lawful animal, and you went to slaughter it, again, you would drain, the animal of the blood, and then, like it says, cover it up, with soil. Verse 14, it says, For it is the life of all flesh, the blood of it is for the life thereof. Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, Ye shall eat the blood of no manner of flesh, for the life of all flesh is the blood thereof. Whosoever eateth it shall be cut off. And right, we're not supposed to eat blood. So obviously, you have primarily Edomites, when they order a steak, what they do. Oh, well, I want it medium rare. They still like their meat, uncooked or raw, but it clearly says that we, being the children of Israel, are not to eat, any animal, any lawful animal with the blood still in it or raw. Just like, in Exodus, when it describes how we're supposed to, not only prepare, but eat the Passover lamb. What does it say? It says, eat none of it raw, but what? Roast with fire, right? So we're not supposed to eat any raw meat because it's not good for you. And like it says, it's the life, right? Now, this dude claimed he doesn't believe in parasites, which I'm pretty sure his body is full of them, especially eating, these animals raw, right? So obviously I already knew, but just for edification's sake, a simple Google search, is it safe to eat raw pork? And it says, no, it is not safe to eat raw pork. Raw or undercooked pork can contain harmful bacteria and parasites such as Salmonella, E. coli, tapeworms, and the roundworm that causes trichinosis, which are all destroyed by thorough cooking, and then it goes into, why it's, not safe to eat it raw. So it says, the primary risks of eating raw or undercooked pork include trichinosis. It says this infection is caused by Trichinella roundworms. After ingestion, the larvae mature in the intestines and produce more larvae that travel through the bloodstream and embed in muscle tissue, causing muscle pain, fever, and facial swelling. While cases in commercially farmed U.S. pork are rare due to modern agricultural practices, the risk still exists, especially with wild game meat, right? And then it says teniasis, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and it says, and cysticercosis. These are caused by the pork tapeworm. Ingesting the larvae can cause tenasis intestinal infection, while ingesting the eggs can lead to cysticercosis or cysticercosis. Excuse me, Slovakia, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, where cysts form in various body tissues, including the brain, which can cause severe complications like seizures. And it says bacterial infection. Raw pork can also harbor bacteria such as Salmonella, Staphylococcus aureus, Yersinia intercolitica, and Listeria monocytogenes, which can cause general food poisoning symptoms like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. So you get the point. We're not supposed to eat pork, and this is why we're not supposed to eat it, whether raw or or cooked. We're not supposed to eat it, man, because it's an unclean animal. But, and yet our people still choose to, eat, one of the main animals that we're commanded not to eat. So I'm going to end it with this. It's the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 25 and verse 13. And it says, give me any plague but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. And, the point I wanted to get is, give me any plague but the plague of the heart, meaning a plague of the mind, where pretty much, our people, they lose their minds, and they go crazy, they lose their wits, and we clearly see, how they end up, they do things out of the ordinary, they act crazy, they're not in their right mind, and clearly this Jake, he's not in his right mind. He's going off first and foremost by eating, a swine's leg, man, and eating it raw. And, he has tattoos, but, a lot of us, have broken that law by, making markings and cutters in our flesh. But, this dude, he's bugging, You can clearly see the dude has demons on him, man. Sitting outside, no shirt on, just doing this thing, And this is why we need the Lord, to come and get us out of this low state, And this is also why 2/3, of you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the biblical Israelites, are going to be destroyed, because you still choose to indulge in wickedness instead of turning back to the Lord. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are let this truth from. And I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. Till the next time I say, Shalom.